Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Jocelyn Lovely Tarot. So good to see you guys here today. Today's reading is going to be for my Taurus. If you guys resonate with the video, like, share, and subscribe. If you guys want a personal reading, hit me up at jocelynlovely84@gmail, okay? Alright, so we're starting off with the Seven of Wands. Oh, I'm using the Delusion Tarot today, okay? I didn't want to use this one for a couple of weeks, and then today just decided to say hi to me, okay? So we have the Seven of Wands energy here for you guys. It reminds me of like... some of you guys have been in real pain, like inner fatigue, the nerves. It's almost as if this pain, emotional pain, right? Because neurons, I'm going to say the nerves, nerve pain or some type of physical pain, maybe arthritis, but mostly like emotional pain, going back and forth within you and you didn't even know why. It's almost as if there was a rift between you and like a mindset or something else. It's like a rift within yourself. There's a conflict and there's parts of you that are like not, maybe because you're not in total surrender and total alignment, there's parts of you fighting each other, right? And so here you are with the Ten of Cups energy. It looks like you're fighting to stay on. You've been fighting to keep your Ten of Cups or keep everything you've attained or gather, everything you've mastered. You've been struggling to keep it. Every part of you, every inch of you, every wall of you. So you've been struggling to keep it, but here is the divine or your emotions coming in, trying to tear it down because it's not a stable foundation. Although it's the Ten of Cups, to you, it's your Ten of Cups. It's not as sturdy of a foundation as it could be. Here you are with a Nine of Cups energy. Again, don't put so much importance on the cards, okay? I'm reading more about like what I'm getting here. At the end of the day, the message gets across, okay? All right, so you have Nine of Wands energy. Look at this, again, a rift. I'm getting like a rift between you and yourself. It's like you and your higher calling, your ego, the 3D, the physical, and then the spiritual. There's a rift. And that's why you've been fighting for a very long time. Not letting this like tower moment or not letting this old you die. Surrender. Give up. It's almost as if you've been fighting your way, trying to prove that you're still deemed necessary to yourself. So your ego is trying to prove to your higher self or just you in general that it still has something to prove, that it's still useful. If it keeps doing the way it used to, if it keeps doing things the way it used to, like its whole life. It's almost as if it's trying to justify it, saying that, hey, I've done this and a third my whole life. I've been this way my whole life and it's gotten me this far, so clearly I'm doing something right. There you go. That's what your ego is saying. I'm also getting, for some of you guys, you're feeling tempered because you're understanding that like it's like your ego knows that it's time to change, it's time to let go, it's time to become something else or live in a different way, and your ego is struggling with letting that go, or the decision to let go, because it still believes that it still believes that it's getting something out of remaining the same. Although we all know that in reality, some part of you knows that it's time. It's just time. You've gained too much knowledge to stay where you're at. You've known too much at this point. It isn't deemed worthy. Your soul doesn't deem it worthy at this point for you to remain the same. It understands that, yeah, ego wants to stay the same, but at what cost? Now it's starting to become a detriment, or it will. And when it starts, you're not going to be happy. So it's trying to have you avoid all of that once and for all. If you can, believe that. All right, so we have the Two of Pentacles next, right? Seeing the potential of what it means to let go, to drop everything and start living in a way that you'd be proud to call your life. It's almost as if it's saying there's parts of you that have not been discovered because the ego owns you right now. Your ego owns you. Your ego is showing up in a certain way. And it's almost as if your soul's telling you there's another way. There's other versions of you that haven't been discovered. You've only discovered the tip of yourself. You've only known some part of yourself, and here's the rest of you that is still wanting to be discovered by you, but it cannot. As long as the ego maintains control of the body, you cannot learn these other qualities within yourself. It won't be possible because the ego wants to take full control. The ego decides if it wants to quit or not, if it wants to do this, and that, or the third. And since without the ego's agreement to surrender, you're going to stay where you're at. You're not going to be able to experience anything new or these new levels of self that are dying to be discovered by your soul, by you, essentially you. You got the Nine of Pentacles, right? Nine of Cups, Nine of Pentacles here. Again, it's like you see, this is the way. You've always known that this is the way, and maybe some part of you has always wanted to go down this path and discovered these versions or parts of you that can be really promising, rewarding long term, and bring a lot of value into you. These new versions of you are really the reason why it's so important for you to discover these versions of you now is because they validate parts of you that have been dying to be validated. They bring up parts of you that have been dying to connect with you, and that's why you feel, some part of you feels disconnected. You feel alone, you feel without self, and it's because of that. Because your ego won't let you merge with these parts of self that will bring a lot of value to you long term. And the thing about it is it's only a dream. It's always been a dream, but you're outside the bubble. You're not in the bubble, you're outside the bubble. And so as long as you've, the ego has you controlled, you know, as long as the ego rules, you won't be able to tap in here. Some of you guys are realizing that it's time. You're tired of like seeking external validation. You're tired of that. Because it only brings you so much. It doesn't, it still leaves you feeling incomplete and not whole, right? I don't want to say unholy, unwhole. And it's like, it's just time. And you know it. So what you're going to do is you're going to start surrendering little by little, and then start aligning to things that are more, that will lead you down the path to discovering these versions of self that need to be discovered at this stage of the game. It's time. Otherwise, it's almost as if you know too much. So even if you try to go back, or even if you let the ego rule you for even a while longer, it almost seems like it'd be pointless, because again, it's that thirst you can never quench, right? It's just, it's done. You know too much. So will you allow the divine, or your higher self, to bring you to a better version of yourself? Will you allow the divine to bring you to parts of self that have been dying to meet you, and that will bring you all the joy and fulfillment you've ever seeked if only you just allowed yourself to believe it? Some of you guys don't believe that this is what's coming up for you if you surrender. You don't believe you'd be able to validate yourself. You don't believe you're enough. You don't believe you're worthy to validate yourself. Some of you guys don't believe this exists. But the difference between here, wanting to believe that this is for you, and being here, knowing that this is for you, this world, look at the difference. Believing in something, but actually being here. You get to see it all. You get to see all of it. Every part of you, and you're going to be really happy. It's worth you being happy. Why do you think you're not worth that level of happiness? That's hard. We all self-sabotage to a point, but it's getting to the point where it's like, this is really harming you. And it's going to keep harming you long term. So why are you still okay with that? Why are you still okay with that? You might have to journal about that and figure it out, and then let us know. All right, that's all I have for you, my beautiful Taurus. Take care. Bye.